Hey, what's going on? Let me more here. And today we're just going to talk about why I moved from Dallas to a small country town in Oklahoma. Well, it's quite simple. Living in Dallas for a very long time. Of course, I have a marketing business that I run, and I can do that pretty much anywhere around the world. You know what I mean? All I need is a laptop and a Wi-Fi, and I'm good to go. And so for me to and for my family, because my son actually started to go to OU here in Oklahoma, and it just made sense. It wasn't planned to be like that. Trust me, he wanted to go to college in Dallas with his girlfriend, but that didn't work out. So what had happened was I'd come here to the farm, and we had a family business that I was over, and it looked really promising, but it just did not do well. And so I was still doing my business at the same time. And so it just took a while. Normally when you start a business, it takes anywhere from 1 to 5 years to explode or do well or know when to shut it down. And unfortunately, I shut it down because, number one, I could not leave and do what I need to do with my existing clients. And two, I never had time for myself. It's like work every day. I'm talking about getting up 7 o'clock in the morning and being done at 10 o'clock at night. And it was over and over and over. And it kind of got exhausting. It did. Did I miss the Dallas life, the busy life, the traffic? Traffic is horrible in Dallas. Let me tell you, it's the worst thing ever. It's like 1 million cars on the road at one time, especially on 75. On 75, it's ridiculous. It's like people are just crazy. When they cut loose, they're ready to get to the next exciting event, or they're ready to get to work and get out, clock in, clock out. So it's one of those deals, hey, it's a fast life. And let's not talk about trying to keep up with the Joneses, because there's a lot of fake shakers out there who are trying to keep up with the Joneses, and they're just burning through their money, 401ks, burning through their savings just to live in Dallas. And rent in Dallas was expensive. We didn't have a house in Dallas. We had this little condo type deal, and it was in a nice area right there by North Park, and it was right close to the mall. However, from the mall to North Park is only like half a mile for where we lived. Not even half a mile. It always took like 30 minutes just to get home if I was going to go to the mall from home. That's how bad traffic is, people. But it was to the point where it was just too much. And when I first came out here to the farm, I was like, you know what? This ain't too bad, because just listen, it's like nature out here. And it's great. And so I decided, once I had this business going, I thought, you know what? I don't want to move back to the big city. It doesn't make sense for me. Because when I'm here, I'm not spending a lot of money. I have my brotherhood in Dallas that we worked out together with and all that. And, we had lots of great time. We go out and eat all the time. And meals in Dallas, like if a couple goes out to eat in Dallas, pretty much anywhere you're spending, if you're at a pretty good restaurant, and I'm not talking about Applebee's, I'm talking about a pretty good restaurant, you're spending anywhere from $150 or $200 just for two people. So I call it like the cruise line meals. But here in Oklahoma, not even close. Like I could take 4 people and spend like $100 on a good meal close to Tulsa or Oklahoma City. Dallas is just huge when it comes to prices. They say everything is bigger in Texas. And let's not even talk about Houston. My brother-in-law lives in Houston, and it's some pretty expensive places out there. But small town here in Oklahoma, it's so peaceful. Haven't had any real issues yet. Cross my fingers. I don't expect to have any, but I will say this thing here. I'm learning that a lot of people are moving away from the city simply because it's overcrowded. You have a lot of rude people It's just overcrowded. And I'm a happy guy. I remember one time I pulled up in a barbecue restaurant, I was happy, okay? I was happy. Put up in my little Mercedes Benz, keeping up with the Joneses. This painter guy was not happy that day. He was in the side of a passenger seat of the painting truck. And pretty much he looked at me and said, "Hey, you MFer." I was big in this dude too. I was working out. I mean, I was buff. He said, you go in that restaurant, I'm gonna do something to your car. And I was like, sir, I don't know what kind of day you're having. You don't know what kind of day I'm having. I was like, I understand that. But whatever you're going through, brother, I'm sorry, man. It doesn't have to be this way. And he was like, well, when you go in that restaurant, I'm gonna do something to your car. I was like, whatever, we have insurance. That's what it's for. And if I remember his face, if I called the cops, I remember. I'll say it was that painting truck. And I make sure I look at the truck license plate. So I walked in the restaurant and the owner's like, "Hey, guy, come on in here." And I'm like, "Hey, man, you got some crazy customer out there in the parking lot." And he's like, "Painter guy?" I was like, "Yeah, he swore he's going to do something to my car." I was like, "I don't know what I did to him. I didn't do anything. I just got out of my car and he just started rambling. And he was like, oh, that guy, he's just trouble. He was in here the other day." When I get back to my car, I go to my car and I didn't even check. I didn't care. It is what it is. It's not a prized possession. A car is a car. You know what I mean? Car breaks down, you get a new one. He spit on my car, yo. And I thought, what? I was like, whatever, man. I grabbed my barbecue, took it on home, and called my friend, really good friend, who's a cop. He was at DFW at the time, that day at the airport. And the first thing he said is, "You need to buy a gun." I was like, what? He's like, "Yeah, you need to buy a gun. It's time to get you a gun. You're in Dallas. It's crazy, man." He lives in Arkansas. And he was like, "I know it's crazy in Dallas. So you need to get one because it's getting a little crazy all around the world." So I got a gun. That didn't do anything. I just had a gun, whoopity-doo. However, I ended up coming out to the farm a year later or so and still got that gun. Haven't shot anybody. I'm not going to. I'm the type of guy you can walk in the room, we're going to talk, we're going to be bros for the rest of our life. That's my mentality. And it was just crazy to see that going on in the city. And people are crazy in the city, man. I don't know what it is, but life is too fast. And there's a lot of poverty level. The poverty level in Dallas is getting worse. It's getting pretty bad. And I don't know. Maybe it's me. Maybe it's one of those deals that I'm not really used to. I don't normally pay attention to that, but every street corner you see guys needing money, signs holding up women with babies, strollers, and dogs. I never understood why a homeless person would want a dog. Does anybody know that? Why? Leave that in the comment below. I want to know if you know why homeless people keep dogs or animals. Anyway, so when I moved out here, it was great. I was all to myself, left the old lady because the kid had one more year of school left. And of course, I had to drive back and forth when I could. Got animals, chickens. We start growing stuff. And, it went off from there. But still to this day, I'm just grateful because I'm like, wow, it's so peaceful out here. Yeah, I have to drive 30 minutes to an hour to get to the major city, Tulsa, maybe 2 hours to get to Oklahoma City. But that's okay. Because out here, you can kind of monitor things. You can kind of, know how much money you need for this and that. And things are pretty much on farm are cheap. When you live in a small town, things are cheap. You're not so expensive. Now, I go into Walmart every single day. I kid you not. I go into Walmart every single day to buy a different thing. I'm the type of, I should have been a chef in my past life. I probably was. But I'm the type of guy that if I wake up in the morning, I'm like, hey, I want baked chicken with, zucchini. And I'll go get it or find where I can get the fresh ingredients. That's what I do. And I walk into Walmart and I know pretty much everyone. But that's the fun part about being here. You kind of know people, we're spread it out. And if you need help, they're going to help you. I done met some great people in my life being here. Like, where have they been all my life? This is great. Some great people here. So if you're ever thinking about moving to a small town, being all to yourself, raising cattle, I don't do that. Creating a garden with fresh ingredients, things like that, this is the place to go. This is the place to be. Like, it's not a fast life. Don't worry about drama. Social media, I'm not even on social media. I am for my clients. But sometimes my buddy's like, hey, I need you to watch this. And I go down the rabbit hole and I'm like, how depressing is that? These people are spending so much time on their social media talking smack, and what is it worth it? And think about this. I know a lot of people who are retiring out and buying land and just doing things because it's the way to go. You never know what's going to happen in the world today, especially with politics and people trying to take stuff from you in the city and your rights. Not out here. It's all you. So the reason why I left Dallas, because y'all like, man, 13 minutes, why'd you really leave Dallas? Because it was the next journey in my life, the next step. It's like, I've done Dallas. Farm life is great. I even thought about moving to like a different country for a couple of years. That would be great. I've seen a couple of videos. These guys are in Indonesia. Some people don't move to, well, there's a fox. Hold on, let's be quiet. Let's see if it comes behind me. Watch closely. Look at that fox. Here you go. That was a fox. Trying to get my chicken, see? About this target practicing. Yeah, he's out there. Wow. But anyway, moving to a different country for a while and just doing that. I mean, how great would that be to be able to work anywhere in the world? Like, it's possible. But are you going to live your life stressed out in a big city? That's the question you answer yourself. Because I know a lot of older people who are stressed out in the city, and they're just getting older and they look older and run down because they're not living the life they want to. And somehow they're stuck. I would say create a plan where you're able to get free, break the bondage of being stuck in a big city. Now, some people love to be in the city, but after a while, you're going to realize city life is only for the youngsters. You know what I mean? That's what it is. I'm not a sprung chicken anymore. So that's why I moved, to get away from it all. And I feel healthier. Less sickness out here. It's like, it's great. You know what I mean? It's great. And to create something that you dropped in the ground and it comes up with something else and you're like, oh my gosh, this is awesome. It's amazing. Raising chickens, getting eggs. I mean, if the world goes to kaput, I will survive out here. This ain't a survival video or anything like that, but I can survive. We got well water. I mean, let me tell you, man, there's all kinds of things you can do. I got friends who are electricians. I got friends who are plumbing. What else do I need? It's one of those deals. Hey, thanks you guys if you made this far. Hope you enjoyed this content. And if you're feeling like you are in a rut right now and you're trying to figure out what you need to do, if you want to stay in the city life, just get out, man. Just go. Just go. That's what I would do. That's what I did.